I'm giving myself 30 days to go from level 1 to 85 and kill Heroic Deathwing, the final boss of World of Warcraft Cataclysm. The Mists of Pandaria pre-patch drops July 1st, and if I don't kill him before then, I fail the challenge. But first, be sure to like the video and subscribe below. And now, let's take a quick look at what happened last time. In episode 2, we grinded our way through classic dungeons, leveled up to 58, and officially began our desperate race for gold before time runs out. Our epic flying still sits way out of reach, and we've only got 19 days left.
The Dark Portal. The entrance to the...
Yo, you're ruining my shot. Okay, whatever. Let's just get on with it. Yo, it's CJ, and we're kicking things off at level 58, broke, and headed straight into Outland. The goal? Dungeon spam for XP, mining for gold, and praying we can scrape together 5,000 gold before we hit level 70. And we got some bad news. Unfortunately, the guild I joined, Stomp, is going to keep on speed clearing until the end of the expansion, so I won't be able to get into one of their runs. The search for a raid group continues. I know one of the first intro quests given by Sergeant Shatterskull gives a one-handed sword upgrade, and it turns out I'm still using Outlaw Saber from Black Fathom Depths, a level 20 dungeon. I bang that quest out and equip my new one-hander that's almost 3 times as powerful as my previous sword. I also do the Bone Chewer Blood quest next and hit level 59 in the process. Completing the quest also gives me a new shield upgrade, which I head back to Thrallmar to get, and shortly after leaving the inn, a level 60 rogue challenges me to a duel. Obviously, I accept. He opens with a cheap shot into a big eviscerate with a Belf silence over top. Since I'm still mounted, I immediately get Gab for a charge, and apply Rend in case he vanishes. My shield slam misses, and it's not looking good for me as he lands a short kidney shot. But I land a shield slam which deals over 40% of his health before he vanishes. And he doesn't realize my Rend is still ticking on him, so I get the charge off, but my killing blow procs his cheat death instead. I try to kite back, but he gouges me. And seeing that he has evasion up, I start spamming Heroic Throw to avoid the melee mischance and win the duel. We eat up, and he challenges me to a rematch. He once again opens with a cheap shot into a big eviscerate, but I immediately shield slam him for 54% of his health bar as I try to get Gap for a charge stun. He blinds me, but his Hemorrhage Dot breaks it, letting me get the charge off, and after a second shield slam, Monstax bows again. After the duels, I continue on to Hellfire Ramparts to attempt to solo it. I know Blood Furnace is the better one to solo, but I think I'm just going to give it a try. And it didn't go so well. Despite failing against just 2 adds, my stoned ass heals up to full health and then tries to pull 3, and you can see how that went. I sit patiently outside of the dungeon as my Q pops, and we get Ramparts. I got a DPS Q, and I quickly found out that with the recent power creep, Prot Warrior doesn't do that much damage if it's not holding aggro for the extra rage. So I decide after this dungeon, I'm finally going to get dual spec and go arms. I forgot to loot the first boss for one of the quest items, so while running back to get it, I ding level 60 as my group continues on without me. We complete the dungeon, and after turning in the quest, I'm halfway to level 61. I went back to Orgrimmar to grab that dual spec and finally swapped to arms. I slapped on that big two-hander, and now I actually look like a real warrior instead of just a glorified meat shield. We snag a DPS Q, hit Ramparts again, clear it within 10 minutes, getting us just 2 bars away from level 61. Now, jumping to the scene on Orgrimmar, it's actually 3 days later on June 14th, meaning that we only have 16 days left to complete this challenge. We drop a couple hundred gold on our Flight Master's license and are left with a crisp 100 gold. That epic flying dream? Yeah, we're still 4,000 gold away. I know I need to get my mining up, so I visit the auction house to pick up some thorium ore to level mining. It's a minor loss per smelt, so I don't mind. It's all about investing in ourselves to build a skill set for long-term success. Mining hits 268, and we're out of gold. Unfortunately, Fel Iron's still locked behind level 275, and so it's off to Winterspring to get more mining levels the old-fashioned way. On the flight there, I swap outfits to the DK starter set. Gotta look good while I'm broke. Mid-flight, I check out Galliwix's Pleasure Palace. Looks awesome, but it's completely dead. You can almost see what Blizzard was going for here. A Vegas-style goblin hideaway, cocktails, pool parties, maybe even a couple sketchy deals going on in the back. Instead, it's just a hollow shell and scrapped content. Probably a little too on the nose considering Blizzard's real-life scandals a few years later. I wonder if there's a Bill Cosby room in here. I get a tank queue for Ramparts, and after the first few pulls, we ding level 61. We clear the dungeon in about 10 minutes, and with the wait time between queues, we farm that thorium ore. To be fair, it felt like every single spawn I came by was up, and so I was just collecting everything that I could. The next dungeon up was a blood furnace, and we got a DPS queue so we can start swinging around that two-hander. We ding level 62 on the second boss, then dump on the last boss to complete the dungeon. I then sprint back to the start of the dungeon through that big ol' hallway, turn in the quest, getting over halfway to level 63, and then leave the dungeon and queue up for the next one. Now our next dungeon is a tank queue for Hellfire Ramparts with an absolutely terrible healer, Chaos Pally. Chaos Pally fails to achieve basic movement to keep up with me, the tank. He does have the mana to heal, but pressing W is too big brain for this classic WoW player, so once again, I'm kiting and having several DPS CC the pack of mobs, but Chaos Pally is still nowhere to be seen. After hitting the floor for a second time, this absolute legend of a healer kicks me from the group and hits me with a, "You aren't that guy, pal." Chaos Pally from Mancrick, if you're watching this, you pay $20 a month to be the absolute shittiest player in the game, uninstall now. With a 30-minute deserter buff, I mine thorium ore to kill time, pushing mining high enough for fel iron, unlock master mining, and I start flipping ore on the auction house. Profit's a little bit slow, but we're moving. I've still got the deserter buff, so I fly back to Outlands to do some questing and mining. I then hit level 63, and shortly after decided to jump in and start trying to solo Blood Furnace. After successfully pulling and clearing the first 2 packs, my next dungeon queue pops. From there, the grind kicks into high gear. We jump into Underbog, pick up the quest, and go for a quick clear. I was pumping on the DPS meters during this dungeon, and shortly before the 3rd boss, we ding level 64. We finish up, I jump out, and go right back into Blood Furnace while we wait for the next queue. I had an intense battle with a Shadow Moon Warlock, but you know me, I'm too good to die. Mana Tombs is up next, and I get a tank queue. Since I'm tanking, I control the pace, which means we move quick. And halfway through the dungeon, I ding level 65. We wrap up, queue up, and next dungeon, jump back into Slave Pens. After making it to the last boss, we ding level 66. Now some of the dungeons start getting repetitive, so we come out, smash a couple more ramparts, followed by an underbog, and then ding level 67 on the last boss. And for our final Burning Crusade dungeon, Sethic Halls. I love the Auchindoun dungeons, and Sethic Halls is no exception. We pump the damage meters again in Sethic Halls and hit level 68 off the quest turn-ins. Now here's the big brain play. I realize I can't queue Random Wrath dungeons yet, but I can queue Utgard Keep directly. So I do, and I pick up the quests, crush the dungeon, and hand in those quests to hit level 69, allowing me to then queue for Random Lich King dungeons. We keep the momentum going with 2 more back-to-back Utgard Keeps, dinging level 70 partway through the second one. And my crew wanted to keep on going, so we queue up and we get the Nexus, which I'm stoked about because that means new quests for me. After a smooth run, I head over to the quest giver and ding level 71 already. Now, I can technically learn Epic Flying, so although I know I'm short on gold, I peep the vendor, and yep, there it is. 4,500 gold staring me in the face, and I've barely got enough to buy an hour of ERP. I double down on gold making next, flipping steel bars and mining fel iron ore. Then I dive headfirst back into the Wrath dungeons. After 2 more runs of both Utgard Keep and the Nexus, we hit level 72, giving us access to even more dungeons. And between queues, I'm still trying to level mining and farm gold, so I'm in Outlands mining that fel iron ore. The next dungeon up, Asdral and the Rub. More quest XP for me, and we had a really straightforward clear, getting me to level 73 after handing in the quests at the last boss. Dungeon Finder sends us back to the Nexus for the next dungeon, and after the second boss, everyone casually parkours off the platform to the next group of mobs. Except for Jax, our shaman. Poor Jax didn't catch up with the group until we made it to the last boss for an easy kill. Next dungeon up, Drak'Tharon Keep, and at this point, I'm feeling myself and my DPS. I turn in the quest at the end of the dungeon and hit level 74, then jump back out into Orgrimmar. I list the fell iron bars that I just mined and smelted, and it becomes super apparent to me that I don't think I'm even going to be able to afford my epic flying by the time I get to 85 at the current rate that I'm moving. Nonetheless, we're doing what we can, and we get the next Q pop for Violet Hold. In Violet Hold, we got the bosses Zuramat the Obliterator, Zevaz, and the last boss, Dragon Lady. After that, we got a quick Utgard Keep into a Nexus, where I dinged level 75 before the first boss. And we definitely didn't have any more shaman casualties when jumping off the platform on the second... Oh. Never mind. Not only that, but this dude actually rage quit right after he released Spirit. I don't know what it is with shamans and that jump, but come on, guys. Now, this is the last footage I have of me at level 75, because my hard drive actually ran out of space while recording, and I didn't realize it. So yeah, if you're wondering why you didn't see a level up, blame Seagate. And definitely not the guy that overloaded his storage device. We wrap up Gundrak to ding level 77 on the last boss. And next up, we go back to Nexus, and here we are after the second boss, about to see another person fall off again, right? Apparently third time's the charm. We smoothly move throughout the rest of the dungeon, kill the last boss, wrap it up, and get into the Old Kingdom. Anu Barak goes ahead with all of his RP, teasing me about not being level 78, but then I chop his head off and we hit level 78. I made the executive decision at this point to buy some Cataclysm gear upgrades from the auction house. I ended up buying Birdo's staff as a big DPS upgrade, despite it having agility as a main stat, and I picked up some big legs. At this point, I fly to Hyjal thinking maybe I can sneak in some early quests. But yeah, nope. All of the quest givers are rocking silver exclamation marks, and so I queue up again hoping that I can start questing at level 79. We did another Violet Hold, and I was pumping with my new gear, taking out Morag, Zevaz, and Dragon Lady. Halls of Stone was our next dungeon up with a bunch of new quests that gave insane XP. We didn't have any issues speedrunning this dungeon, and I hand in the quest at the end to ding level 79. I zoned back out, but I still can't get any quests. No Hyjal until level 80. So I hearth back to Orgrimmar, sell off my dungeon loot, flip some copper ore, and jump back into the queue. We get Halls of Lightning next, which ends up being a really quick run. It gets us halfway to level 80 and leads us into our final dungeon of the episode, the Oculus. Right before the second boss, we get the XP that we need to get level 80. We finish up probably the worst dungeon ever made and head back to Orgrimmar to keep our smelting grind going. We've made it through Kalimdor, Eastern Kingdoms, Outland, and Northrend. We end episode 3 in Orgrimmar as a level 80 broke blacksmith trying to stay afloat. But this isn't the end. Next episode, we're hitting up new zones, new dungeons, and new healers. Follow me on X at @ItCJMan, and join the Azeroth Army Discord server in the description below. This Discord server is a place to hang out and discuss World of Warcraft with other like-minded gamers. If you like this video, all I ask is that you smash the like button and share this video with a friend. These free actions help my channel out a lot more than you know, and I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next episode.